Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to Nancy Drew Legend of the Crystal Skull, where we've now taken a pretty thorough look, I think, in the housekeeper's room. And I think we're ready to go back downstairs. Give the housekeeper the chocolate. This is not where I needed to go. I actually needed to go in here to get out there to the housekeeper. Here we go.
You bring me that cocoa Kringle bar like I asked?
Right here.
Bless you. I'm so hungry I could devour these plants I'm potting up, dirt and all. How else may I be of service to you?
Whose boat is tied up down there where the bayou comes up to the cemetery? Do you know?
That would be my boat. Comes in very handy when I need to forage for certain swamp-dwelling plants.
Those weird symbols on the wall in your room, do you know who painted them?
I did. Fact of the matter is, there's a spirit living in that wall.
A spirit?
Got a voice that'd send shivers down the spine of Dracula himself. Used to hear it sometimes, in the dead of night, half talking, half whispering, saying this one word I never heard before, like it was from a language no one on earth spoke. And suddenly, I knew. The spirit was trying to cast a spell on me. So I got me a book and found out that by painting the word I heard on the wall, syllable by syllable, in hoodoo signs, I could counteract the word's power. And you know what? The spirit has not spoken that word or any other since.
What was the word?
Darling, a sack full of water moccasins couldn't get me to say that word out loud. Nor will I write it down, no sir. Not ever, ever, ever.
Okay.
I'll leave you to your potting.
Fare thee well.
Before we go into the cemetery and see about getting the symbols down on paper, let's see if there's anything else we can talk to him about now.
Yes?
Nope.
I'll stop bugging you now.
Whatever.
All right. To the cemetery then. That's the gate. And we'll want to go quite a bit that way. And yeah, this is it. Oh, right. Paper. There's the bird. A worm. So worm, bird. Bones. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because they all have the different frame to them. I'll just look at the frame and then I'll see which symbol needs to be there. Let's go back. I thought I was going back. but have I been here before? Can't touch that. Does it look like a Kringle bar wrapper? Has the housekeeper been here? Charlie Wick. West, north, east, south. West, north, west, south. East, north, east, north. East, south, west. Whatever that means. Or like wherever that is useful. I have no idea. Let's get the thing done in the room with the mini version of the graveyard. So like this. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go and find this. Alright, so let's take a look. These flowers, there needs to be the grave. So that's correct, right? It's these flowers. Yeah. And then that needs to be the bird. And then that needs to be the worm. And then that needs to be the crossbones. A key. Which probably opens the crypt at the actual graveyard. Nancy, have you written anything useful down? Where were we? According to the letter that was inside a box at the curio shop that we've read. Bruno Belay had a pet iguana named Iggy, which, according to Henry, likes to steal paper. Bruno apparently gave it the run of the house. Why am I not surprised? Renee is convinced there's a spirit in the wall of her room, one that's trying to cast a spell on her. Or at least it was, until she painted anti-spell symbols on the wall. Wonder where all the weird mumbo-jumbo stuff she heard was really coming from. From the crystal skull, maybe? Henry Bolet says, I think we've read these. When I talked to Renee, the woman who was Henry's great-uncle Bruno's housekeeper, she was outside in the potting shed, working merrily away, despite the fact that it's raining cats and dogs and the electricity's out. She thinks the skeleton guy I saw was Mr. Death. Did I mention that she's a little strange? So no, she hasn't written anything really useful down. Talk to the
Did that.
housekeeper. Fake books, grandfather clock. Significance of the tracing.
All done.
Why one of the picture frames on the wall is empty.
All done.
What's up with the... yeah?
All done.
Find the combination to the lock that's on the crypt.
Check.
Look for anything that might help me find out what happened to the skull.
All done.
Explore the cemetery next door and look for clues as to how to open the lock on that mini crypt.
Did that.
Explore every inch of the garden, even though it is pretty darn creepy.
I haven't done that.
Find out in what position the feathers on the head of that one buzzard statue in the garden are supposed to be. Find the key to that crypt in the cemetery and see what's in it. Well, I found the key, but I haven't yet seen what's in it. Get some paper.
All done.
Look around for some chalk.
All done.
Put all the books.
All done.
Look through the crystal skull book.
Did that.
Find out what the deal is with the card I found in the book about the crystal skulls. Ask Henry how his great-uncle Bruno died.
Check.
Call Bruno Bolet's doctor, Gilbert Buford, and get the details on Bruno's death. Get a Cocoa Kringle bar.
Did that.
Use the key to Renee's room.
Check.
Find out what the deal is with those symbols on the wall in Renee's room.
Can't check that off yet.
Really? Figure out how to open that chest in Renee's room.
Did that.
Take a good look at the hoodoo symbol guide.
Did that.
Make rubbings of the panels.
Check.
See what those rubbings I made have to do with the scale model.
Did that.
Alright, so I'm thinking we go back outside and use the key. See what's in the crypt. Oh, except in order to go outside, we need to go in here and then this way. All right. Henry? Claude Bolet, 1955 to 1990. Marianne Bolet, 1959 to 1990. And I can't take a look at these two, just Claude and Marianne. Marcel Bolle, 1826 to 1890. Fifi Bolle, 1918 to 1981.
This must be the painting that goes in that empty frame.
Okay, if you say so. And there's nothing else for us to look at in here? I guess not. Maybe we came just for the painting. Let's maybe see about putting the painting back in the frame. I don't know. Where is it from anyway? Is it from the hallway? Is it from in here? It is. So if we put it back, can we put it back? Nothing happened. Oh, we need to put these in order. What kind of order do you think we need to put these in? I suppose we'll find out later. Do we need to put him from young to old? I mean, there's her too. Is it him in like these images as well? Just thinking. I mean, she's old in this picture, isn't she? Are we going from young to old? I have no idea. Maybe I'll take a look at the walkthrough at some point. Maybe this might be a good time to call some people. We need to call the doctor anyway. Dr. Gilbert Buford.
This is Dr. Gilbert Buford's answering service. How may I help you?
I need to talk to Dr. Buford. Could you maybe give me a number where I can reach him?
No, ma'am, I cannot. Is this an emergency?
Sort of. I mean, it's not a medical emergency. See, I'm only going to be in town for a short time, and Dr. Buford and I have this mutual friend who died recently, and I just really need to talk to him about it.
Need some consoling, huh?
Yes, I need some consoling. That's it exactly.
Well, tell you what. It's against the rules to give you his phone number, but I can tell you that now that he's all but retired, Dr. Buford spends most of his evenings at his favorite gumbo stand down in the French Quarter. If you really need to talk to him, you can probably find him there.
Great. Do you know the address?
It's at the corner of Rampart and Domain.
Did you say Rampart and Domain?
I did indeed. Granny Pumpkin's Cajun cooking. They make some darn fine gumbo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and I'm truly sorry about your loss.
My loss?
That mutual friend of yours and Dr. Buford's?
Oh, right. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Bye.
Okay. Cab company. Oh, is that so we can go see the doctor? Maybe. Professor?
Yes, hello?
Hi, my name's Nancy Drew. Is this Professor Hotchkiss?
I am she, Nancy Drew. Your name has a ring to it. Do I know you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we met a little while back in Wisconsin.
Oh, yes, you were the delightful young lady doling out the samples in the tasting room of that cheese factory. Yum, yum.
No, I met you at Whitford Castle.
That's ridiculous. There was no cheese tasting room at Wickford Castle.
No, we were both guests there. I found a journal written by Marie Antoinette which you translated. Remember?
Thanks to you, suddenly all I can think about is how wonderful a nice big slab of Colby cheese would taste right now. Listen, Mandy, I'm on a deadline, so if you could please just tell me why you called.
But my name isn't...
Deadline! Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Chop, chop.
Did a man from New Orleans named Bruno Bollet ever call you?
Ah, now there's a name you can remember. Bollet. Nice and French. I'm a scholar of French history, you know.
Yes, I know. So did Bruno Bollet call you?
Indeed he did. Oui, oui.
Why did he call, if you don't mind my asking?
Because he had read my book, of course. The Crystal Skulls. Fact or fable, one of my best efforts. Sold like hotcakes, smothered in a rich, tangy lemon sauce.
Okay.
Did he say anything about owning one of the skulls himself? I would have hung up on him straight away if he had. I tell you, Brandy, if I had $1 for every crackpot who's called claiming to own one of those skulls, I'd be able to dine at the Russian tea room every evening for the rest of my life. All right, that's a bit of hyperbole, but you get the picture. No. If memory serves, we talked mostly about the skull called the Whisperer. He wanted to know if I had learned any more about it since my book was published, which I hadn't, or if I had any theory as to what happened to it, which I didn't.
And that was the extent of your conversation?
Well, now, let me think. My, such insatiable curiosity, Nellie. You remind me of someone I encountered on one of my journeys. But for the life of me, I cannot remember her name or the circumstances.
Nancy Drew? Wickford Castle?
Ah! The eyes have it.
I'm sorry?
That's what Bruno Bollet said when I turned the tables and asked him if he had any idea where the Whisperer was. He said, the eyes have it. Then he chuckled and hung up.
Okay. Whoa, we have a lot to talk about.
How much would a crystal skull like the Whisperer be worth?
In this crazy day and age, where the shorn hair and used tissues of celebrities get sold for thousands of dollars, there's absolutely no telling, Candy. $500,000 easily. Maybe even $1 million. Maybe 2. Maybe 10. The sky's the limit. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
If someone found a skull made of crystal, how could they be sure it's one of the crystal skulls?
Wonderful question, Francie. How indeed? Because there are sure to be thousands of fakes out there. Perhaps tens of thousands. But remember, the real skulls were made long before the tools commonly used for carving today were invented. Which means, let's put on our thinking caps.
Modern-day tools would have left marks if the skull was a fake?
Exactly so. Mind you, the marks on a good fake would be microscopic and thus imperceptible to the human eye. However, any thorough laboratory analysis would quickly unmask a counterfeit.
So the only way to prove that a skull is the real deal is by proving it's not a fake?
And by examining its provenance, its history of ownership. If it can be shown that a particular specimen has been passed along from antiquity into modern times and didn't just suddenly appear in, say, Germany in the mid-19th century, that would tend to support its authenticity as well.
The idea that the Whisperer can make its owner immortal, do you believe that?
I believe that things that defy any so-called rational explanations happen all the time, Nessie. Now, does that mean there are mysterious external forces at work in the universe of which we do not and cannot ever have full knowledge? Or does it all boil down to us? If the human heart desperately wants something to be true, does the human mind have the power to make it true? Who knows? Oh, questions, questions, questions. Oh, how dreary life would be without them.
In your book, you said that all the people who've ever owned the Whisperer were murdered, yet Bruno Bollet dropped dead of a heart attack.
Are you saying the Whisperer was in his possession after all? The scallywag! Why didn't he tell me that? Oh, that's right, I would have hung up on him. Well, if that's the case, then I strongly suggest you take a close look at his so-called heart attack, Sandy. Because if he owned the skull and he died, I guarantee you it was at the hands of someone else. Or my name's not Beatrice Gertrude Winifred Hotchkiss.
Thanks for your help.
Rock and roll!
Okay. Sure. Let's talk to Ned as well.
Hey, Nancy. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Meaning,
I think Henry still misses his parents a lot.
what makes you say that?
I saw him out in the cemetery by what I think is their crypt. He seemed pretty upset.
I'm not surprised. I get the feeling that what Henry looks like on the outside is just the opposite of what he looks like on the inside.
Bruno Bollet's housekeeper, Renee, is still here, despite the fact that she and Henry don't really get along that well.
Why do you think she's staying on?
She says it's because Bruno paid her in advance.
But you don't believe her.
10% of Bruno's estate is supposed to go to her, only she thinks, and with kind of good reason, that Henry's been selling off Bruno's assets on the sly. So it wouldn't surprise me if she's staying on so she can try to bust him.
What's this kind of good reason stuff?
I know for a fact that Henry sold a box of Bruno's things to a local curio shop.
So this Renee person isn't just being paranoid.
What this Renee person is freaky.
In what way?
She wanted me to drink some strange-looking concoction after I passed out from the smoke bomb, but she refused to tell me what was in it. And she wears this weird little pouch around her neck. Says what's inside it connects her to the energy that powers the universe.
She's probably harmless, but stay on her good side, just in case.
Are you familiar with the legend of the so-called crystal skulls?
Is that where aliens supposedly scattered a bunch of perfectly formed crystal skulls all around the world like thousands of years ago? And all the skulls have different magical powers?
Something like that, yeah. Apparently Henry's uncle was the proud owner of the Whisperer, the skull that was supposed to make whoever owned it live forever.
Only now he's dead and another superstition bites the dust.
Maybe, maybe not. See, this book I found in Bruno's library said no one who has owned the Whisperer has ever died of natural causes.
So how did they die?
They were all murdered.
Come on, you don't believe that crystal skull stuff is true, do you?
I'm not sure what I believe yet. But right now, what I think doesn't matter. The people who knew Bruno had the skull, if one of them believed in the Whisperer's power, they may have figured the only way they'd ever be rid of Bruno was to cause his death.
But didn't he die of a stroke or something?
Heart attack.
Well, there you go. Natural causes.
Heart attacks can be induced.
You've been watching too many of those forensic detective shows.
That may be, but what's really interesting is the skull is missing.
That is interesting.
And I'll bet you anything that's what my bony friend in the red ascot was looking for.
Does Henry know where the skull is?
I haven't gotten around to asking him about it yet. But if that skull is still around here, I intend to find it.
I kind of figured that.
Do we want a hint?
I could use a hint.
About what?
The paintings.
I have a feeling the paintings in the great room need to be arranged a certain way. Any idea what that certain way is?
Remember that bookmarker you found in the book about the crystal skulls? Well, take a good look at the paintings and see if something in each painting corresponds to something on that card. If so, you'll be on your way.
Okay. We'll do that in the next episode.
Sounds good. Thanks.
No big deal. See ya.
Alright. Yeah, we'll definitely do that in the next episode. So yeah, we'll continue from here next time. For now, thank you so much for watching and spending a little of your time with me here today. It was lovely to have you. Please remember to be kind to yourself. Have a lovely rest of your day. And I will see you again next time.